So, for any of you that would like to know, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my life story. Um, I've struggled with obesity, depression, and PTSD my whole life. When I was becoming sexually mature, I was betrayed by two people in my family. Well, one in my family and one a supposed friend of the family. Um, One in particular was my best friend, and I never expected it. We fished together, went did a lot of things together. And one night when he was drinking, he betrayed my trust and molested me. This is at a time when most girls start thinking about boyfriends and things like that. So it wasn't long after that, this family friend found a chance to grab me one time and did. This made me question everything. Faith, because Christ is a man. God, called the Father, is a man. Okay? So I questioned my faith. I questioned my family. I started running away from home. Weight started coming on like crazy. Okay? And I walked away from the church. I did vile things. And I'm going to be honest, I did physical, vile things. So I'm making a public confession, I guess. And I couldn't even turn to family because people didn't believe me, the ones I told. The church, I couldn't turn to anymore because I was afraid of the priests. I was afraid of God himself because he's a man or male in description. So I ran away from a lot of things. And I ran to things I shouldn't have, like alcohol, marijuana, eating. The eating got way out of control. There was a point I was almost 400 pounds. And at the time, too, I also had thyroid. And I'll show you my scar. I don't know if you can see. I had 2 surgeries for thyroid, which was also causing severe depression. And along that as well, I'm in school still, and I have a lazy eye. Okay, I was born with a cataract. They removed it, and it did its damage. I have partial vision out of it, but I have a lazy eye, and when I'm more tired, it's worse. So I was brutalized at school. I was treated horribly. So the weight, the lazy eye, I was treated terribly. Okay, so there wasn't much to turn to at that time. Not the church, not friends, because friends were shallow and I wasn't good enough. Matter of fact, I was beaten up by my brother's friend and his buddies. They were throwing rocks at me, punching me in the back. And the way I got out of that was I grabbed him by the arm and threatened to break his arm. Okay, so that was my past. All right. So I was lucky enough to meet a wonderful Nigerian priest. And I wish I knew his name. I pray for him, and God must know his name. And he said to me, the way you're going to get back to church is to turn to Mary, through Mary to Christ, and obviously to the Trinity. So I started praying and turning to her. And what he told me was to go through and basically meditate at night as I'm going to sleep of Mary. And I'm a little girl in her home, and she's singing lullabies to me, and Jesus is there, and Joseph is there, and he's like, those are 2 males you can trust always. So that brought me back to the church, to the modern church. So when I come into the modern church, I was accepting of all that because that's what I was raised in. So I did get married to a man who is verbally abusive. He's gotten a lot better. We are together. We've been together for 30 years, but we're separated for 8 because of the verbal abuse and because him and I were not in alignment on what we wanted. He did not want children, and I did. So thinking back, he's my cross to bear. I probably would not have stayed with him when I was in the traditional church because he did not want children. So anyways, kind of fast forward. I started meeting people online who believed as I did. About that time, I was introduced to the messages of the 3 days of darkness. At that point, I started having dreams of it, vivid dreams, night after night after night, very vivid dreams, almost to the point where I was really there, and it would happen, and people would be closing their doors and blocking off their windows and blocking off their doors to protect themselves. And I remember this very vividly, and I don't know why I saw this so vividly, but I believe that it's true. So then I started reading so many, Marie Julie Jaheny, Elena Ayala, and then start listening to traditional priests on the chastisement, which aligns with the 3 days. And if you listen and pay attention to scripture and listen to prophecy, it's exactly what it is. But little by little, this is developed, and I developed 3 groups on Facebook. And what was great about this, I love these groups, not because they're listening to me because I'm stupid. I'm not an intelligent theologian. I'm not. I learn from others. And little by little, I started to realize, hey, I'm not the only one out there. I'm really not. There are other people that know this is true, and people who have had dreams, who have had visions. And God talks to his people. It says in the end times, he will speak through dreams. He'll speak, and it's not just the priests and prophets that are going to hear these things and get these messages. It's going to be the average, simple person, so that people can prepare. God, he doesn't leave us orphans. He tells us what's going to happen. He has through scripture. He has through prophecy throughout time. So, anyways, that's a little bit of my story. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a prophet, not a seer. Have I had visions? I think I have. Have I heard voices? I have. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't think so. I think God is God, and he's not going to leave us in the lurch. He's going to tell us the truth because he loves us. He's loved us before the beginning of time. He's created people before they were even created. And, people can think I'm crazy. I really don't care because, the great circle, life is a circle, and it doesn't stop. You get a spring, a summer, a fall, a winter, but then spring comes again. So death isn't the end. It's not. And this leads into, again, like my carnivore way of life, but not just that, herbal. The herbal, it says in scripture, herbs were made for the service of man. And some have taken that to the extreme to say that like marijuana is, but I mean, even that, I know people who have PTSD and it calms that. So for some people it is medicine, and I do agree with that. But I think it's used as medicine. You don't drive with it, But anyways, I'm kind of going off a little bit. This is my first time with this. Please like my videos, share them, and subscribe, because that's how this will build, and I can help that little church, which I really, really, really want to help that little church, and potentially a community of FSSP. I've spoken to their diocese or their bishop, I guess, and they're willing to do it as long as the diocese will accept it and will offer them a spot. But this little church, if it's mine, if it's ours, if it's rented, whatever, however we do it, then the people that are there, I already know there's many of them that want traditional Mass. So hopefully that comes about. The little church gets saved. These people and maybe more people will come to live here and enjoy a traditional Mass and a traditional community, so we can lean on each other, love each other, help each other, and be there for each other through these times, which we know, if you follow the messages of Our Lady of Good Success, you will know we are in end times and have been for the last, since the 60s. Okay? So please, again, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. God bless you, and Christ's peace be with you.